Welcome back, and it's great to have you here at mid-morning on WKYT. Dog vaccines have changed over the years. It's why it's important to talk to your veterinarian about which shots your pet needs. Dr. Butch Schroyer is here. He's going to tell us which vaccines to choose and what is legally required. Let's start there. What do you have to have for your dog?
The only vaccine that you have to have for legal requirements is the rabies vaccine. And the reason for that is the rabies is a zoonotic disease. People can acquire rabies. Over 56,000 people die every year from rabies infection. Not many in this country, most are in the underdeveloped, where they don't have good programs and not enough vaccine to give us good buffer. We have an occasional case here in the United States, but not much. But rabies it. In the state of Kentucky, you can have a vaccine given as often as once every 3 years if they're given the right vaccine. So when you get in, see your veterinarian, talk with them as to what vaccine you should be using, and know, are you using a 1-year vaccine? Are you using a 3-year vaccine for rabies? Okay. Everybody thinks they need to go see their veterinarian for vaccines, but they really need to see their veterinarian for their exam and consultation to know what really needs to be done for your dog. Vaccines, though, otherwise we've got a host of vaccines.
Yeah, and so how do you decide, whether you should have vaccines in addition to rabies?
Exactly. Well, we go through a process we call risk factoring. Every year when you come in for your examination and when your shots might be due on some things, we always go back and where do you take your dog? Where does your dog go? Who comes to your dog? Do you board your dog? Do you have your dog groomed? Do you go to the neighborhood park and let the dogs run? Do you go to the country and hiking? If you go to those different places, you get different exposures. So most of the dogs in my practice, which is a suburban practice out on Harrodsburg Road, and in that area, most of our dogs are what we call urban socialites. They're dogs that live in the city and see other dogs from time to time. And in those dogs, we think a distemper parvo vaccine that we use, we only have to give every 4 years, a rabies every 3, and the cough vaccine once a year because it just won't last any longer than that. And 90 to 95% of my dogs only get 3 vaccines, but I have dogs that are out in the country. And those dogs need additional vaccine to protect them from Lyme's disease, maybe from lepto because they get exposures. We have dogs that go to dog shows, and we think those absolutely need to have flu vaccines at this point in time because flu's out there. So depending upon where your dog goes or where it does not go, we make a decision what vaccines are appropriate.
So you really need to basically have a consultation. You hear what they're saying, you know the dog's habits, and make the decision.
And make an appropriate decision. More is not necessarily better.
All right. Are people generally notified about the rabies situation? I mean, as far as the vaccine?
Well, I think in the United States, at least, we have a huge awareness that dogs need to have a rabies vaccine. And so when you're in our system, we always send reminders every year or every 4 years to make sure you stay current.
All right. Dr. Butch, thanks for coming by. Always appreciate it.